Hello, my name is Gary Mansfield, and this is a bonus episode of the Ministry of Arts podcast. Now, as ever, let's begin by banging these bongos.
Yeah, right. Crazy.
Hello, and welcome to this bonus episode of the Ministry of Arts podcast. Today we are joined by Gallery No32 founders Meg and Kieran, and they will be telling us about the next winter sculpture park and how it's open to not just sculptors, but anyone, no matter what your creative field. They will also be telling us how and why it moved from its old site in Bexley to its really quite exciting new site, but also in South East London. While you're listening to this episode, I do urge you to go and have a look at Gallery No32's Instagram profile, where you'll find an aerial video of the site. And that is also where you will find the application links. And those applications are open now and close at the end of September. And once again, if you're a creative from any genre, it doesn't have to be sculpture, you can be a painter, a poet, a dancer, performance, street artist, mosaic artist, crafter of any sorts. The application is there for you. So please come and join me as I spoke to Gallery No32's Meg and Kieran about the Winter Sculpture Park. Meg and Kieran, hello once again.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello.
The Winter Sculpture Park is taking applications again, and this year it is changing venue.
This year, we're really excited that the Sculpture Park is moving to a new site in Thamesmead. It's directly on the Thames. It's an amazing venue that's been closed to public access for the past sort of 10 years, if not a bit more. And it's an out-of-use golf driving range.
Brilliant.
It has a massive 3-storey clubhouse with the driving range attached out the back and a walking viewing platform thing that looks out across the whole park that will be accessible, and then like 3 different zones which we're quite excited to play around with. So it's a big change from the site we've had previously, but it's a really exciting new adventure, I think.
I mean, the site you had before was enormous. That was probably, what would you say, the size of 6 football pitches?
Something like that, yeah, it was huge. I'd say this one's around the same size, roughly, of what we used of the larger field, though. So it's going to feel there's a little less, like, greenery going on beyond it. There's still a good amount of space for the artists to be spread out.
You've got the golf driving range, which I presume after 10 years is overgrown. Is that going to be a problem?
No, I think that's the fun part, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get it all cut back down, or I don't know, actually. I don't think we even want to. I think the plan is to cut the areas where the sculptures are going to be and leave a little bit of room to like wander freely, but it would be nice to keep a lot of it still kind of overgrown, especially if there's nature there that's been there for like over a decade, you know.
Habitats and biodiversity.
So there's a lot to like think about with this space that we're still exploring.
So you're possibly going to be cutting pathways in and through.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's it. Like a big
so
maze.
that people can discover stuff rather than just see it all from ground level. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, there's something really beautiful about how overgrown it is, and it really tells the story of the space being closed for so long and then using the sculpture park to reopen it in a new, like completely new capacity, sort of exploratory and discovery, and all of those things kind of come from this way of it being so overgrown. And so I don't want to use the word abandoned, but
who owns the site at the moment?
Peabody Trust own the site at the minute, and they've been kind enough to host us for this year's sculpture park, which is really cool. And yeah, they've been holding the site, and they've hosted a couple of sort of cultural things across the years, haven't they? But it's been quite quiet there for a while.
Yeah, they've been
Brilliant.
working with like some local groups, weren't they, to kind of understand what people want done with the space.
Hmm.
Most of the people in them groups we're connected to in some way as well. So we've also kind of heard the same things. So yeah, it'd be quite good to use that to set up a lot of our plans for the sculpture park around it, around the work that's already been done by the community groups around there.
Hmm.
Because as much as nothing has been done with the space, they have been working to do something with it.
So there is a building as part of the driving range. So obviously the sculpture is going to be outside in what was the field, now is a semi-jungle. Have you got access to any of the building?
We've got we're working towards getting access to the building based on what they're going to do with it. They've tried to put electricity and things like that in the building a few times, but doesn't tend to work out very well being an abandoned building.
Yeah.
Putting stuff like that in if you're not going to do anything with it or have anyone there. So we'll see what they do, see if they are willing to do it again. And if not, we're looking to have at least be able to put some sculptural artwork on the outside of the building.
Yeah, nice.
Quite pretty. It's covered in graffiti, which is quite cool.
Yeah.
We could maybe encourage someone to add to that. Don't know if, in a cultural way. There's a walkway, a really cool walkway that you can access that goes on top of the first floor of the building and looks out over the fields, which you access from like a cute little gate around the corner.
It's very Alice in Wonderland, isn't it?
Yeah,
The little
with like
gate.
Brilliant.
growing bushes.
So worst ways, even that access area, that viewing platform, if you like, is a cool thing to have there anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, that viewing platform's
Yeah,
amazing.
I think the building's going to be incorporated definitely somehow, whether it's using it inside or whether it's as a prop for something and within the show. But yeah, the viewing platform is definitely going to be a main event. It's really cool. Yeah, it's this little gate amongst this huge overgrown hedge, and you like have to shuffle through the hedge to
Brilliant.
get on the platform and then walk across. Yeah, it's cool. It's really good.
So
Going
how
back,
comes you've moved away from the old site?
The old site has been sold, so the agreement that we had previously is no longer stands. Although we were offered from the new owner to use the site, but it now has sheep and cows all over it because it's become
Excellent.
like a grazing land for farm animals. Which would have made for an interesting but very different atmosphere to the sculpture park.
Great stuff. And so for the previous events, there was around about 40 artists.
hmm
Is it round about the same this year?
We're hoping so. This year we've been really lucky to be awarded funding from the Arts Council, which is really exciting. It's the first time we've actually managed to get an application
Brilliant.
successfully through, which is really cool. But yeah, we want to make sure we use it well and that we're supporting the artists that need the support to be involved in the show. So it's kind of dependent on how we use our budget and how we decide that's going to go. But we're keen to have as many people involved in it as possible because, I mean, that's one of the main parts of the
Yeah.
sculpture part, being part of this big cohort of artists that are all working towards this common goal of creating something massive. Um, so
Yeah,
it's an undecided number at the moment.
because I think there'll have to be a limit. We always tried to limit them anyway, just for our own workload, being there being
Yeah.
only two of us. So like we've always said, oh, let's do like 20 or 30 artists. Then we get down to 30 and we've still got like, 50 other artists that were like, oh, we want all of these people in it as well. Uh, so then we have to, get that 50 down to like 10. That's how we end up with so many. But I think with this one,
It's an undecided
it's
number.
unsure if
Yeah.
that can happen. If like, yeah, I mean, the selection process is going to be so difficult.
I presume also that you don't know exactly where the works are going to go as yet in the
Mm.
area, do you, in that space?
Mm. Yeah,
No,
exactly. And what people submit and how big each artwork is and how much space it will take. So there is some planning to it, and we kind of have a vague idea of how it might go, but obviously it's dependent on what people submit. And
Yeah.
um, And it's a horrible thing. As much as we love it, like it's really difficult to make decisions
What to
on
say no to
who's
people.
to say no to
Yeah.
Yeah,
people is
yeah.
awful. It's like heartbreaking. But it's really difficult to choose. And
Especially when their artwork's really good.
yeah, and
Especially when it
especially
comes
that
down to
artist
just
book.
us not having the capacity.
Yeah.
Like that's the worst thing. That's why it's quite nice we've got the Arts Council funding. It's nice that we're growing and more people are interested in helping us. Because that should mean that we can involve more artists. You know, that's the plan.
Mm.
Can we talk about applications? How and when is the applications open?
Well, they're open now, and they close
29th of September.
29th of September.
You're welcome.
All right.
The application form is on Curator Space as it is every year, but we're accepting applications in different formats as well because we know it's not the most accessible platform for people. So you can always just drop us an email if they need a different way of applying. Happy to help. So you can apply as an audio recording or a video recording if that's easier, or just email the application with the questions from the
And what's the
website.
address of the website?
Gallery number32.co.uk. So
Splendid.
Gallery No32.co.uk.
And all the information will be on your Instagram as well.
Yeah, along with the application guide, which has support for every question. So if there's anything that's confusing and you can't find the answers in the application guide, then always drop us a message as well, and we're happy to help. But we've also this year we've got an expression of interest form. So if you have an idea or you think you might have an idea but you need some help and you want to talk about it, you can fill that out and we'll
Excellent.
get in touch and we'll chat to you about it to try and help build your idea.
Brilliant. That's pretty cool. Can I ask, what is your application process? What happens behind the scenes?
It's really difficult, but the main things that we focus on when we're making decisions is whether people have considered the durability and security of their sculpture, whether it will work outside, which is something that we're always really happy to talk to people about beforehand. You know, a lot of the artists we work with have never put sculpture outside, and that's what we really like about doing this show.
I say almost all of them.
Mostly, yeah.
Mm.
I mean, a lot of artists we work with aren't always even sculptors. There's some, like last year, we had Jamie as a printmaker. It's all I can think of right now, but there was always
John Pedder.
printmaker, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not always their first practice. So yeah, we're happy to support with thinking about how you can make your work as durable outdoors as possible. But that's one of the main things. If it will sort of be weatherproof and safe, stability, security, consideration of the environment as well. So another thing that we consider is how well you've considered the habitats and the environment and the impact on the environment of your sculpture and of your installation methods. So, you know, if you're planning to dig up the entire field, then no, because you're going to disrupt so much of the biodiversity in the space. So something along those lines is a key part of our decision-making process. Would you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Also that you want to put artwork in the show for the public, like for people to see. You're interested in engaging people outside of the art world and people in like the local area. It's not just about accelerating yourself just within like the art world or wishing that it was actually white white walled gallery space,
Yeah.
you know, because sometimes
Solo show.
yeah, exactly, and you're part you want to be part of the collective effort and not so individual and not so, you know, it's obvious
Yeah.
sometimes.
Well, you mentioned that a lot of the people that show with you haven't shown publicly before, outside days.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes a more exciting exhibition, personally,
Mm-hmm.
because people are learning there and then. And how long's the show on for?
Yeah, somewhere between 2 months and 3 months, and it'll be the same. And yeah, that with the learning as you go, I mean, we've only just got used to our old space, and now we're going here. So
That's exciting, isn't it?
even for us,
Yeah.
we've got to dig the ground. we've got to see what's under there.
See how things move when they've been
You
installed
know,
as well.
I didn't realize that top field from the last site was just going to be all brick underneath, you know, the first year. And I was like, oh, we've got 40 artists installed in over 2 days. And I've told
Can't dig the
10 of
hole.
them that I'll dig the holes for them.
Now you need a JCB rather than a
Yeah.
shovel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be a learning curve for us as well with the new site and learning the new site and learning what we need to do.
Fall into some underground sewer works or something. It's right next to right next to the Victorian pumping station. There could be anything under there, you know.
God knows.
It's exciting though. Do you know what's really
Yeah.
exciting? Going back to the question you was asking about it being overgrown.
Go on.
Finding a golf ball.
Yeah.
Finding a golf ball is so fun. Like, when I found the first golf ball, I was like, yeah, that was really cool. So I
Oh,
think
yeah.
we'll definitely leave elements of untidiness to the space.
And elements of golf.
Mm.
There are small plans to have
So,
elements of golf.
yeah, just things like that, just that
Yeah,
the
weird.
excitement of using some you know, out of use, untouched space is quite fun.
With remnants in it. It's just remnants of moments. It's really magical space. I keep saying it and I feel like I sound really cheesy, but it just really is. It has it really like there's the whole Alice in Wonderland entry part of it, and there's like little bits of stuff that people have left from where they've been like playing there and stuff. And it just feels really, there's just something really nice about it, isn't it? It just
Hmm.
feels really like full of
There's
energy.
remnants of society there, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah. And like different groups of society that have all used that space. Which I think is why it feels quite nice that we have this sort of connection with the community group, like the community that would use that space. Um, being that they were working on what they wanted to do with it for so
Yeah.
long. I think it's quite nice to have that
And the whole area in
input.
Thamesmead is so well documented. It's always being written about. It's always in some film or documentary, or it's just really nice to look back at all that as well and see all the stuff that has happened there. There's so much has happened on that site, and it's all documented, and it's quite exciting to like add to that and be part of that.
Mm. And it's nice to feel that it has still got that connection. I mean, I spoke to someone a while ago just about doing like a small survey on the site. And they replied and they were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're working on that space. I used to go there and play golf all the time, and this is like my favorite golf course in the area." And I thought, "Oh my gosh, that's so weird that it was such an active part of the community."
Yeah.
And it sort of wasn't, but it kind of still feels like it really is. There's a lot of people that go past that. It's right on the Thames path. So
Yeah.
people use the path a lot, and the path goes past the entrance. So it's like a really active area.
You saying that is a good point for my next question.
Mm.
How would people get to the sculpture park?
We always encourage environmentally friendly transport, so you can cycle there, you can walk there. There's lovely parks, lovely fields. The pathways are really nice and wide. Walking there is quite easy, especially from like Abbey Wood, which has the Elizabeth line going to it.
Yeah.
There's also buses that go in that direction, quite nearby.
From Woolwich as well.
From Woolwich, there's a pumping station next door. When they have open days, they have a shuttle bus, and I'm hoping that we would align our open days with them. Also, just so they can get like the footfall, people go there. I think it's a great place. I've always wanted
It's
to go
really
there.
cool.
So I think if you could go to the sculpture park and go there in the same day, I mean, there'll
It
be plenty
sounds
to
really,
see at the sculpture park. It would be cool to see the pumping station as well. And
yeah.
they've got one of them tiny railway trains you can sit on.
Oh, yeah.
Little steam rail. They've got a steam railway as well. So I mean,
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if people went there to have a go on that as well on the same
Would.
day. Exactly. So if they've got a shuttle bus running, maybe we'll have we'll join our efforts with them to get shuttle buses going around. But realistically, it's quite easy to get to. It's on the Thames path. So if you get lost, just walk along the Thames and you'll come to it. And we've got a what three words, which is Hedge.Thus.Reward, which is really cool. It's just
Hedge.Thus.Reward.
Thus.
Hedge.Thus.Reward, which is quite cool, right? It's
Isn't it?
literally that square that's right at the entrance of next year's sculpture park, which is quite cool. Quite my base some of my curation around it.
It was quite well lined up somehow, wasn't it? Yeah.
Well, I'm well aware that we're recording this before a lot of the decisions have been made. So that's why the answers are a bit open-ended at the moment. Just for conclusion, could you tell us when the applications close, where people can apply, and the rough opening dates and the address of the Winter Sculpture Park?
So the applications are open at the moment for Winter Sculpture Park 2025, which will be the 4th edition of the Winter Sculpture Park. The application deadline is the 29th of September. You can find the application form at Curator Space. Everything is linked on our Instagram and our website. Our Instagram is gallery_no.32 and our website is galleryno32.co.uk. We're taking applications in all formats, but if there's any questions, you can email us and our email addresses are on the website, or you can drop us a message on Instagram. The address?
Thamesview Golf Centre in Thamesmead. The what 3 words is Hedge.Thus.Reward.
Yes.
And the artists can let their imagination run wild as to what they want to produce.
Exactly. That was something we wanted to talk about actually, because every year people always ask us about the theme for the sculpture park, and it's not something that we intentionally do, but I think the people that probably have followed us for a while and have a bit of a connection to what we do and why we do it tends to lead to a natural theme anyway. So yeah, there's no limit to what you can submit. There's no idea that it has to be within. It's a very open call.
The theme is like what artists of now want to produce for the public to see now, you know?
Something that feels relevant and why it feels relevant, I guess. But there's no fixed theme.
Yeah. And although you're not aware yet of the amount of artists there will be, I'm well aware that you always have more applications than you're able to have artworks. So if anyone's application isn't successful, it's only because of sheer amount of application.
Yeah, it's a capacity thing. And if we could support everyone that applied, then we would.
It's really difficult as well, because I mean, there's so many artists that have applied that are like amazing. Their artwork's amazing.
And their idea is amazing for the show.
Amazing. It literally it's just about capacity.
And you've got a short video up online as well, haven't you, showing the space?
Yeah. So
people can go and get an idea of the area that they're going to be showing in.
Yeah, and just Google Map it as well and just have a look, you know, you can see all the parts. There's fences, there's trees.
Yeah, engage with them in the applications, definitely.
Just think about how you can use those spaces as well, like.
And do you know when the opening is yet?
The end of February.
Start
of March.
We'll have a big opening party. Oh, we also wanted to say about partnerships and stuff, about people getting in contact. We're excited. We're kind of excited that this year, because we've got this funding, we want to collaborate with people, and if people have other ideas of how they could maybe collaborate or work together on something as part of next year's sculpture park, then to get in touch as well.
On the application forms, you've also got a space for performance.
So this year we're not just looking for sculpture applications. We're also encouraging applications for performances on the opening party, because last year we did that a bit and it was really fun to have like a program going on alongside, and we want to really maximize that this year. We're also looking for people, if anyone's interested in running a workshop or collaborating in some way, then do just get in touch and we could see how we could do that.
Brilliant. So Meg, Kieran, all the very best with the Winter Sculpture Park 2025, and I'm very much looking forward to my invitation.
Thanks for having us. Bye.
If you've got an exhibition or any other creative project within the arts, or even just want to promote your own artwork, you could do that in podcast form, similar to the one you've just listened to. They start at a convenient price point that is comfortable for any artist working on a budget. this podcast itself is created by working artists, and we know how important that is. So to find out more information, you can email us on ministryofartsorg@gmail.com or on Instagram @ministryofartsorg. Ta-da!